Today we're going to talk about the different parts of your new French horn. The bell of the French horn is the largest part of the instrument. It's where all the sound comes out of. If you think of the French horn like a speaker system, the bell would be the speaker. You got to be very careful when holding the French horn to make sure that you don't bump the bell into any stands or chairs or doorways or other people. The four circles on the top of the French horn are called the rotary valves. Underneath these caps, there's little mechanisms that twist and open up holes so that the air can flow through different sets of tubes. When this happens, the sound either goes higher or lower, depending on what buttons you're pushing. The trumpets have a valve also, but theirs moves up and down, whereas ours moves side to side. They're both called valves, they just look different. To make the valves move, the creators of the French horns made long pieces of metal that we set our fingers on top of. We called these the valve levers. Sometimes I'll call them the keys. We'll put our index, our middle, and our ring finger on our left hand on those four valve keys when we hold it. There's also a secret key that's underneath those three valve levers. This is where we'll put our thumb. Some people call it the thumb key. I like to call it the trigger. To help us hold the French horn even better with our left hand, the creators of the French horn made a piece of metal that kind of makes a C. We call this the pinky rest. Now we have our thumb on the trigger, our index, middle, and ring finger on the valve levers, and then our pinky rests inside that little C. One thing you may notice about the French horn is it has a lot of different pipes moving around inside of it. All these pipes can be moved in small amounts to make them sound like the other people in the band or in their section. These are called tuning slides. We move these just a little bit and then we keep them in that one spot to make sure that we sound the same as the people around us. We won't be moving these a whole bunch, maybe just once a week or even once a month while we're beginners. While the bell is the largest part of the instrument, on the opposite end, we have the lead pipe. A cool thing about the lead pipe is it's the start of the French horn, and you may not notice it, but from the lead pipe all the way to the bell, the instrument slowly gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The last piece of the French horn we're going to talk about is the mouthpiece. If you think of the French horn like a speaker system, like I said earlier, the bell would be the speaker, but the mouthpiece would be your MP3 player or CD. It doesn't matter how good of a speaker you have, if the music you're playing out of it isn't very good or you don't like it, the speaker's just going to make it sound louder. So when we start playing French horn, we're going to do a lot of work just using the mouthpiece so we can make sure our music is as good and sounds awesome as possible. Then we'll put it on the French horn and make that awesome sound nice and big. Looking closer at the French horn mouthpiece, there's actually three different parts. The first part is called the rim. You can remember the name by thinking of it as looking like the rim of a volcano. The rim is where we'll put our mouth most of the time when we're playing on the mouthpiece or on the whole French horn. The middle part of the mouthpiece is called the cup. It kind of looks like a cup that you would hold, maybe like a medieval looking cup that could hold water. The final part of the mouthpiece is called the shank. The shank is the part of the mouthpiece that will actually go into the French horn instrument and put the whole thing together. Every once in a while, we might blow out of the shank, or when we're playing on just the mouthpiece by itself, that's where we'll hold it.